Weird. So when I die, I can't restart anymore. Which is probably because the settings menu script doesn't... can't be destroyed, from what I can understand. That can't be it. So why would this not be performed? It works. Before you die, I can do this just fine. But then, as soon as you die, it stops working. Then it doesn't work anymore. Let's pause and see, like, if the... Since it's showing, like, why wouldn't this work? It refers to player input. Oh, I see. And now this player object is disabled. Okay, then it's not that weird. Because I guess then it doesn't, like, do it. So we do something else, I think. Currently it's like player input actions menu, and player input lives on the player object, and then that gets this. Is there any good reason why not to put the player input here and then get the some other like now I have this input actions, that's fine. Looks like I probably shouldn't have multiples of this one. So maybe I just move the player input this to the system thing instead. And then I gotta change, so this one has a, it doesn't get the component like that. It just, I don't like find object of type, but it is just easier to do this. Good. I need more drink. 1 second. Yep. No, it still doesn't work because I guess I'm not having a reference to it at all this time. Why isn't the event system living on the canvas object. Do I really need to have a separate thing for that? Hey, Pine, what's up? Pretty good. Okay, so now the canvas here should refer to the system, an event system like that. 2D lights, fun. I've done my fair share of that. Now I can pause. Now I can get slaughtered. Lawrence! So we're gonna have a shorter stream today. I have some clerical stuff that I need to do. I've been doing a little bit this morning, but now I felt like I had was a good day, good time to take a break from it and do some streaming and do some development. Okay, fixed the bug. Good. Yeah, it's not the most fun, but some things you just gotta do. Okay, cool. So we can now restart. That's a good fix to save. And let's open fork. Oh, I haven't pushed this. Okay. We got pathfinding stuff. I don't think we ever need this. Just get rid of him. Hey. Those were pathfinding settings, not the shit. That's fine. I can just do this a few times. Resave and then it should come back. Like, why? For some reason, sometimes my thing here just doesn't pick up changes. Restart it. Still doesn't find them? Oh well, I guess they're not needed then. Discard this one. No, we're just not gonna stage it. The Pathfinder thing we're not needing. Discard. Let's say we can parameterize that. Floor generator. Public bool. Let's have a region. Header. Debug. Show. Gizmos. False. Parameters. And then we If not, draw. Didn't I call it? Show gizmos. Call it draw gizmos. Use return, which is whatever. You be over there instead. You be there. You be there. Cool. Use move player input to global object, and then these are all for use AI, use pathfinding for enemies. Good. Let's push this. Whoops. It's force push. This is 16th, which is, yeah, that's also starting to get branchitis here. I guess we should kind of rebase main on inventory and make sure brother's sound effects are all in there. So yeah, let's switch. I guess we stash changes. But then we rebase main on inventory, which should be a merge, I think. Yep. We can push that. Don't need inventory anymore, so let's delete that branch. This branch now should be rebased on main. Let's pull first. And then rebase on main. That's a fast forward. No, it's not. I don't dare do this because I don't know that my brother can handle that merge there. Yeah, I'm using GitHub, yes, but it's an app called Fork. Yeah, I'll have a chat with him and see how he feels. Okay, so let's just leave brothers or sound guy or brother, whatever we want to call him. Let's leave his branch, but now we're at least here. I think we don't need the mana branch either. It's all integrated here. Cool. So we fixed a few things. The game is still fully playable with the controller, except for reordering spells. But yeah, so one thing I want to do is the ability to sell blessings. You can sell spells. I want to be able to sell blessings as well. But at this point, I feel like there's a few things that I want to do. It would be nice to have some kind, like in Snake RX, you have expanding road. Yeah, sounds. There used to be a game called Fat Wizard or something. Fat. Yeah, I don't remember what the name was. And good morning. Yeah. So in Snake RX, you have these classes, and then you have certain things that act on which classes you have. So maybe some upgrade could be better if you have multiple of a certain class or something. I'm thinking I want something like that. I was thinking to do it with elements. But I feel like I haven't found exactly how that should work yet. Because, yeah, it's... Ah, thank you, Pogo. Yeah, it is getting better and better, for sure. There is no lighting. The walls are flat lit. They just a little bit of ambient occlusion in the corners, which is actually like a post effect. And then there's a little bit of glow on top of everything. I'm not sure how much of that is actually visible here. But yeah, it's so, for example, fire AoE on kill drops a fire AoE when I kill an enemy and there's a chance to spawn. Maybe that chance to spawn can be increased if I have multiple fire stuff. But I feel like it kind of homogenizes builds in a weird way. I wonder if there's a better solution to that kind of like... Maybe I just have my implicit synergies and I run with that. Like if I have an AoE damage, that should scale with something like an AoE scale that or AoE radius plus upgrade, then that's good. Or standing in a blizzard gives you double the haste or something, and then you can kind of do things with that. Bounty is really good with the rail, for example. These are kind of implicit. Maybe that's actually more fitting with this game. But I feel like what I wanted to do is make the shopping experience more interesting, like more interesting and almost like clear stuff. That like when something is affected in Snake RX, you get like it's just more explicit that this is dependent on the number of whatever you have. But maybe I can have a few things like that, and it's not like the driving thing. And maybe this game is just like more like Binding of Isaac, I guess, where you have to learn which combinations of blessings and spells go together. I have like a few times started this, like what we did here, is come up with a couple of spells with different like different elements to them, and then I don't know, it just feels like there is a little bit the way it is right now, it feels like it's not concrete enough or something like that. So there's a whole lot of tech debt, I guess it's pronounced, in this game right now, which also needs to be like figured out. So maybe we should take inventory, see like how the GDD to do. Let's just call this one to do. We want to like figure out corpses spawn between levels, because that's really weird now. The level changes but the corpses still remain. To have corpse explosion work, it makes more sense to have remaining corpses, but at the same time I don't see how that should work. Limit and sell blessings, yeah. Figure out if there should be explicit synergies. Elements etc. And I feel like also there's one thing I want to do, which is like powerful items, of which you can only have one at a time. Yeah, and like those rotating like lasers and spike traps. Just walls are interesting. Like you get them sometimes with the new proc gen of the arena. Let's see if we can find any. It's rare, I guess. But sometimes you get like a pillar in the center of the world.
Do you know what? I swim in a lake of emotions. I give birth to the melodies and words with sweet devotion.
I don't think corpses have a high priority.
I got so much
Save file?
just to say, so
and options, maybe as separate things, and also like, say I would like to take this to Steam or Switch or something, I have to have a system to be able to do like accounts and high scores, things like that. Save files. I call it decorate rooms. Yeah, achievements could be interesting. Harrow irreverent. Yeah, people always ask about older projects. Boomer is on hold. Like, my problem is I think a lot of developers do what I do, like start a project and then abandon it after they feel like they found out it doesn't scale, or they're just more interested in something else. The problem I'm facing is that I'm very public about my projects, and maybe I'm like a little bit more like going back and forth than some other people. I work a little bit further on my prototypes than I should. I think I should be learning to fail faster. And then I have people like asking about Pink River and so on. So so the feeling I get from myself is like I get a little bit. I feel bad when people ask about other projects, and I kind of show you stuff, and then you get a little bit excited or just want to know what happens, and then I feel a little bit like attacked almost when they're about like older projects, because I know like I feel a little bit bad about like switching projects just for my own sake. So it's it's a complex topic. Fine, Stark with the pushback or pushbacks with the throwbacks. It's not impossible, Sandere. It's just like different time periods, same planet. I know, like, yeah, but I think I should be better at. I think I should try to get better at killing projects earlier, like not develop feelings for them and so on. Like I see when things don't scale earlier. I feel like that's been what's killing a lot of the projects. So like at a certain point you get a little like the honeymoon phase with the project ends, and then you just see all the problems, and if your honeymoon project or honeymoon period is a little bit extended, like maybe some of mine are, like Gunhowl, I've worked on that for months, and then I start feeling like okay, so I'm not that in love with this, and then I see all the problems with how the game kind of doesn't scale to the number of levels, or things like that. So I think it's an interesting like thing to think about, and it gets kind of magnified because I do all of my development like public. Yeah. Like sometimes you come back to this project, for example, is sort of coming back to an old, like if you follow me for like 10 years, you would know that I worked on a game called called Tiny Wizard. And this is kind of coming back to that idea a little bit, trying to do it in some kind of way. Okay. I agree. Like, the best songs are like written really fast. Except for the ones that aren't. Cocaine could be the solution. Yeah, this is a two-man thing right now. It's like me and my brother. Brother is doing all the sounds and music, and I'm doing art, code, game design, and everything else, like marketing. And yeah, I do more or less what. Let's do one sacrifice. We have a bug with the sacrifice icon here. So it works, like it says it's gonna take 30 HP, and it takes actually 60 HP. So we need to figure out why that is. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Fix sacrifice text or something. So I guess we just go to sacrifice purchasable. So we got like sacrifice cost. It takes the amount that we have at some point. Let's take it out of the max health instead. Or should adding more max HP enable you to sacrifice more? I feel like that would be more interesting, maybe. It still does, because this 10 here is static, so it always costs 10 plus some amount of your HP. This just takes half of your HP currently. Hey, recursion, thank you. I think you're onto something there, Soundwire. It's nice to gray box shit, but for me, like most of my projects are dependent on some kind of art style. Like I don't do the most innovative kind of gameplay stuff, but I usually take some and mix some art style stuff in there. It's like I'm not a great artist and I'm not a great game designer, and I'm not like super cool programmer who can do like these super cool systems that scale to millions of voxels or whatever. So I live in trying to combine all these things where I'm kind of broad rather than really good at anything. So for me, it's like getting the art style there and having people think that something is juicy and all those stuff become really important. So I don't know if a game is fun until I have screen shake or something. So that I guess that's a thing. So I think the problem is that update description is called whenever you purchase it, and when it's enabled, and there is some like maybe the let's actually do this. Let's not be like. Because to have an update function and update description every frame, why not? I don't even care. This is something we should fix too. Like this hides inherited member. Which comes from damage source, I guess. Okay, but let's do that later. But that's annoying that we get all these multiply serialized blah 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 stuff. Okay, so play now. It should say sacrifice minus 60 HP for 2, and then we buy, and then it's minus 30 HP for 2. But is that actually true? 30 would be, yeah, it's 30 plus 10. And then it's 15 HP, but we don't have that, so we can't buy it anymore. So now we could actually buy 3 times. I kind of did stop after 1 week. So can I do like new public pool and then that error goes away? Can't restart. So I can do 1, 2, and then not 3. Okay, that's good. But if I had an upgrade, I could maybe do 1 more here. Ah, that's good. Did that thing go away? I don't even know. Is there a way to show your compilation warnings? Hmm. Hey, maybe what the problem is that damage source has these. Maybe these should just be virtual. And then we override them in projectile instead. Instead of new public, we would do public override void. And then we do like, oops, base. Truthfully, yeah, sure. I have this stream safe prog. It's not guaranteed stream safe. There's a couple of like I've never had any. Some of them I've actually asked the artist, like Jakub, for me. Like he allows me to play the songs and so on. But and Chimp Spanner. But Chimp Spanner, sometimes these are triggered in like auto stuff. So don't believe the stream safe part. And also some of the allows are for me specifically, but listen to it. It's pretty good though, Truce. How do you like, so if it's, I haven't played many deck builders Sunwire, but how do you actually come up with and like evaluate all these, like you with the deck build, you're supposedly, at least you would have a lot of cards, like a lot of specific content. How do you like do that? Because I'm doing similar things here with the different spells and blessings and stuff. I guess with the deck builder you could actually play it. You could do a lot of like paper prototyping, I guess. Ah. There is something like previously known as, or something like that. I don't use this in many places, so let's just do spawn prefab and try to find it. It's like on the player we have spawn on distance. Maybe it's only on the trail charger enemy. Formally serialized as, that's what it is. Thank you. But Miro. Cool. But you just had a lot of ideas for different cards, or did you use any kind of methodology to kind of come up with these ideas for cards? Yeah, you actually have to play it to know what's actually happening. And the psychology of players is like, it's almost impossible to know beforehand. But yeah, so with I could see things I've been experimenting with, or like at least thinking about experimenting with, is like doing some kind of grid or some kind of 2-axis thing where I try to put spells in different corners depending on their use, and like if it's a fast strong spell, it would go up in the right corner, or if it's a slow, like, so anyway, so you can find like holes in the matrix where you're missing content, and then you figure out content to fill those holes. Okay, so you're doing combination stuff. Cool. Yo, Frederick, welcome. Synergy system. Yeah. Hey, we have the same problem, Sunwire. So is this spawn on move used anywhere else? I don't think it is. I think we're fine. Now we have this still. Pool is not. It's serialized multiple times in the class. Yeah. Still have the unity part problem of that with the projectile, which is annoying because Damage Source has pool and then this, but the solution is obviously to not serialize it, because we shouldn't. Haha, but I can't. Does it go away if I do this? But it must be this one that's somehow serialized, even though it's private. Hello, Mind Rage. Interesting Soundwire too. Yeah, thanks for sharing. That's really interesting. Cool. So now we have solved a few issues. Maybe we should commit. Foxes in Skyrim where nobody actually wrote a system for it, but the AI and pathfinding accidentally made Foxes lead players to points of interest. Wow, that's cool. Oh, by the way, update on my weight loss thing. I've been telling you about how I've been like feeling bad and feeling good and feeling bad. Today is a good day. So I had this really long walk in the morning, and then I felt like this is probably gonna have decent numbers on the scales today. So I stood up on the scales and I saw it was a 3 yesterday, and today a 3 yesterday and a 2 today. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit underwhelming. But then I realized it was like one more number that changed. So I actually lost like 1.1 kilos since yesterday, which is pretty good. Ooh, I'm interested in this. Yeah, so that felt really good. So I'm right now I'm moving quickly towards my target. So that was good. Don't look for another week. Nope. I'm gonna weigh the. I've actually been running a little bit, Frederick, but I've also had like the last week I've had terrible back pain. So I haven't been able to. Whoops. That's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll check that out later. Running from evil. No, I've tried different things. For a while I ate like only eggs. I had 3 eggs for breakfast, 3 eggs for lunch, and 3 eggs for dinner. But that wasn't kind of a long-term thing. Yeah, then yeah, it's ooh, there's a wind. So now I'm doing like a little bit, like I eat like 2 eggs for breakfast. And then I have an actual meal for lunch, and then sometimes I have a very light dinner. Haven't had much opportunity to drink alcohol, but I'm not. I don't have any hard and fast rules. I just do it. Not raw eggs. I boil them, and I actually have mayo or some other sauce thing on them, which of course increases the calorie count a little bit. But I think one of my problems is that I've eaten too few calories in a day. Yeah, I could do that mind rage, but I don't think that would be, I don't know. Eggs with mayo? Yeah, it's like eggs on eggs. No, it's a really good like combo. Some salt. I should have less salt. Oh yeah. Also, Frederick, with like be careful with blood pressure and stuff, of course. You will my buddy and his wife started doing that. I don't know if they bounced off it really quickly, and then I'm not sure if he's back on it though. I don't think I want to do. I think I'm done with the whole like short-term diet things. I'll do it for a little bit. Right now I'm eating eggs, 2 eggs for breakfast or something, and then. But yeah, I don't want to do that kind of fasting or anything like that. It's got to be. That actually sounds okay. Mind Rage. Black olives are great. Cottage cheese I can do, sure. Like I drink tons of these and Monster, but they're all 0 calories, 0 sugar, so removing that wouldn't help. You can also, like, these kinds of diets are also good to get started. Like, it's nice to have some kind of really quick trajectory at the start. Like, let me show you my my curve here. Okay, it's gonna be hard to read it. Like, it doesn't want to, but like, you can see that kind of thing. It goes down, but the problem is, see how actually massively fat I am. But you can see that first reflections. You can see the first kind of couple of days. I lost like 6 kilos or something. Just in the first 3 days or something. And then it's been up and down, but there's a steady trend. If I discount May, I've been losing decently. Since then, the trajectory is pretty good. What should screw with the metabolism? Like, I watched this guy on YouTube who eats like shit tons of food. Beard meets food or something. Sure, the beard is 6 kilos, yeah. But his philosophy is pretty much, if you like he eats a lot, like 1 day a week, and then he subtracts a little bit every day, and then the total number of calories are fine. So it's like calories in, calories out. However, when he talks about weight loss, he talks about like getting, how should we put this? Like finding your resting, like where you're stable, and then subtract a little bit from that. Because if you kind of cut too much, there's nowhere to go when the body kind of gets used to the reduced calorie counts. You can't like eat less, because then you're not gonna feel good. But if you start removing just a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, instead of doing this massive cut, then you have more, like, you have less plateaus. I kind of think that makes a lot of sense. All of our robes has been expanding. Yeah. I've got one of those, Mind Rage, I got one of those fancy Wii things. It's called Wii things? Or something. I don't even know. How can I know? It's a Body Plus scale, which is a pretty good Wi-Fi enabled thing. Indie No-No? Crowdfunding scams? I haven't. Like, we're not really making any game dev here. We're just talking. We should change the topic or something. I don't know. Good to talk about shit. Fix serialization and compiler warnings. Done. We've done something. Fix sacrifice text. We've done that too. Let's commit. What do we do here? I don't even know. Fix. Just update. Sacrifice text every frame. YOLO. Your body needs to normalize around calorie intake apparently. Yeah, there's something weird that's outside of that whole calories in, calories out. There's also a lot of talk about like fiber and insulin levels and how the way salt plays into things. So I think there is the main thing to think about is calories in versus calories out. But there is like a 10%, 15% like system on top of that if you want to figure out why suddenly something doesn't work, it's probably because you're changing something in that there. Like I know some study that they just test if they actually measure what people eat and not go by what people say they eat, everyone loses weight on a calorie deficit. So yeah, I don't know. I did sort of intermittent fasting, depending on how you define it. I used to skip. If I just skip breakfast, you get that kind of longer period between between meals. But I didn't think it worked very well. But who knows? I want to have like path finding for enemies in here because that's already done too. Or did I have that on this one? Oh. Refactor or componentize enemy behaviors somehow. I want to do that. You can't go against thermodynamics. It's the law. Oh shit, bread. Don't mention bread. I freaking love bread. Sorry, Soundwire. Have a good one. Thank you for sharing your theories and stuff. Oh, Mjölnir. Flour. Mjöl is flour in Swedish. Playthrough. Yeah, let's actually do a run and see where we're at. Hey, what's going on here? I think I have... Oh, I see what's happening. I have this selected, and left and right brings this up and down. I'll have it here or something. Fine. So I gotta deselect whatever I had selected. But yeah, so I want to play with the rail. Let's sacrifice... we should be able to sacrifice twice on this level. So the idea behind this game is that you shoot and you get some money for each level, and you get some interest on your money if you don't buy shit for it. So since I have a little bit more money, I get some actual interest since I did sacrifice here. Now I can like figure out what I want. I can also re-roll the items for a cost. First it costs nothing and then we get some cost. I think crit chance is pretty good, and then you combine that with Ow, I forgot to sacrifice too. It was good. Wait, didn't I pick up crit chance? Did I get... I think I saw a heal on crit. That's not... I don't have heal on crit. I have a crit chance. Wait a second. Cheating. Cheating. Let's try again. Oh, let's do this. It's a claw and rail combo, which I like. Ooh, let's get the ice orbitals. It doesn't matter. First enemy. Damn it. Can do it again. Rail and then claw. I want to swap those around, I think. It seems to not hide that thing there. Chickened out with the thing. Cooldown speed and max HP are both good upgrades. I should sacrifice before I pick up max HP, I think. Because now I get... Could have gotten a little bit of a heal since I was at full HP. So I should sacrifice, pick up that. I want to pick up both. Okay, so now we can pick up different things. Haste also increases the rate I can like shoot at. Ice orbitals are fun, but not that great. I guess pick up haste, do some more sacrificing. Do we do 2 sacrifices? Do we dare that? No, but we do pick up heal and crit. Then we could have, yeah, okay. Ow. I wonder if we should have a higher... I mean, there needs to be some reason to do like the claw over other stuff, because right now it I can see that coming a mile away. Oh, so random. Okay, so we wanna, whenever we go out of the menu, check settings, menu UI. Whenever we do this, we have like if not active, we want to deselect, so event system dot set selected game object null, just so that doesn't happen. I'm gonna rewrite this, of course, but as a start, I can do this. So now if I go in here, I go like camera angle, I can adjust it with the keyboard, and then escape, and now I can't do like that with the keyboard anymore. Good. So that's a bug fixed. Change the colors for fun? Yeah, sure. Especially me, I'm fun down here. I have this mock-up. Actually, give me 1 second. There, I just want to hide something. This looks a little bit like what you did. Right. Hey, this is a different thing. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. But yeah, you could see some similarities. Yep, it's a move in some direction. It's a little bit rough on the actual pixel clusters, but I'll fix that at some point and export it so I can try it out in game too. So I have maybe 2 different areas to be in. So, good. This is a very unstructured stream here. This one comes further down, I think. Somewhere in here. Decorate rooms. Robes is not meant to be local multiplayer. I could see me doing local multiplayer. I think that would be fun to kind of slay together, but it's hard because of how I imagine the blessings and synergies and skills and stuff. But yeah. Let's start with selling blessings, and selling blessings is probably easy. There is a like a blessing icon, I think we have. Yep. And if you right click on it, ooh, wait, how does the spell icon right click work? Well, the cooldown on this, that should solve that issue where we see the number. Let's see if it works. Separate shops. That works. Just pin this and close all to the right. Don't save. This is one of the ideas I had. Get rid of it. So selling blessings. See how I did it in spell icon. On pointer down we can use. And that is like I pointer down blessings icon UI, and then we do like I pointer down handler, and we get this in here. To have shop route. where do we get this? Because we create these runtime, we can't do quite this. Let's not care if you're in the shop for now. I'm just gonna do this. But I guess I got blessing. Don't have reference to the player. Yeah, so we remember this. We can do some other thing. We just use this and then get the spells action from here. But we don't need the spells action, do we? We have the player. That's what we want. Let's do player.currency. I would assume, except player doesn't have that, so we'll just add it. The money back. How much money should you get for the blessings? You get the level amount. Why are you angry with this? Blessing. Uppercase B. Blessing. We don't have an equip on blessings. We have apply and remove. So let's do player.remove blessing. Feels a little bit roundabout, but fine. Something like this. I think we have add blessing here somewhere. Yep. Blessings dot remove blessing, and then we'll do like blessing dot remove. I would guess we got apply and remove as opposites. Oh, we already have it. We passed the player, I guess. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need that. Okay, so when we're removing, damage parent is null. But we also, in every blessing here, we gotta figure out a way to remove the effects that we had, which is gonna be fun. So bounce blessing, when I, oh, it's a stat stack blessing, which is like add modifiers. We should be able to override it. Like this, we do base, and then we do like I guess we're gonna do this. We already have stats. That's saved. So we should be able to do stat.remove modifier this. That should take care of all the stat blessings. Which is most of them. Okay, this one is a little bit more complex, but this means that we need to have like a on player did damage. Then move this part into this thing and replace this with on player did damage, and then move this to the remove and remove that link. Now we don't have the player saved, but we can have that. Player, and then we just do player equals player like this, and then this dot player. Oh, for all of them, when you remove them, they should get back to level 0. Or I think it starts with level -1, yeah. You gotta rebuy them from the start. If you sell them, good. Heal on crit. Same here. Public override. Void remove. But blessing has a reference to player now. Give me a sec. When I purchase it, this is confusing. This is not overridden or called for all of them, so damage parent here might be entirely broken. Crap. But on purchase we'll set up player, so we're fine in that regard at least. So I'd never need this. When I thought I needed that, I was wrong. You just pass along player like this. Cool. So haste on crit, we don't need to add. Void on player did crit, damage info, get all this, moved in there, refer to. Same. These will have to be. So this one actually had that thing already in there, so fine. This one is a stack stat. One more. Void on player did damage. Hey Atmo, welcome Raiders. How's your stream? This is where unit test is nice. To a certain degree, yeah, I would sort of agree with you. But writing the unit test is just a lot of work. Also, this apply. Let's not assume that that gets called. It's not in that many places, so maybe maybe it wouldn't be terrible to go through and just make sure we have base apply player on every place here. This one doesn't do anything. Let's remove it. That one has it. Like it also gives you a false sense of security with that, because game dev is extremely chaotic in the kind of mathematical sense of the word, where it's just a lot of different systems interacting with each other, and the outcomes are really hard to predict. Cool. Did I catch it all? Possibly. Cool. So next up, spell icon, no, blessing UI, and then we get this back and equip the spell, remove blessing. And this then calls blessings remove, and then blessing remove this. Yes. It's a okay, but I'm a little bit scared. Like the unit test for this would be saying the same thing that the remove function is. So it's like this, the unit test for, let's say, Nova and Hurt Blessing, it would be, did you add the on health modified thing when you applied? And also, did this get called when you applied? Like, how do you even check if projectiles got launched and whatever? And then when you remove, you check that you removed it. So the unit test is pretty much the same code. It's just if statements and some kind of harness thing that checks whether or not these things are these events are both triggered and like selected. Yeah, it's not feasible with my brain and resources in a way. So now we should be able to sell those. We can sell them for the same price that we paid for them. No, you sell them for the same, like I buy this now, and I should be able to right click here and sell it. It doesn't work because something is not set. Ah, we haven't set up currency on the player. Buy invulnerability, and now didn't work. Index was outside the bounds of the array, which is nice because we also need to remove this from, okay. So player, when we add the blessings, we create this list of BUEs. When we remove, we will remove one of them. So we will pretty much just do BUE equals blessing root. This should be done in another class, but it's fine. Blessing root dot get component in children. Blessing UI icon UI, and then find or where BIUI BI. It was hard to write this word. Dot blessing guess we have a public reference to the blessing? No. Yes, we do. Let me just make sure we have no. Absolutely not. Object. There we go. Now link. So we get it and then we destroy it. So destroy BUE.gameObject. Now we have 2 and we sell it. It's removed, but we didn't get more money because the level it should be level plus 1. Wait. Because level 1 is actually level 0. So I got 2, sell it, now I got 3 again. But it's gone here too, which is nice. Okay, so now we can sell the blessings. I think we should like have some kind of game run. The run manager should keep track of a state. Call it run state. It could be like in shop, or it could be in level something, and then we have this public state run state. And then as we go through, run state equals run state dot shop. And then just before we enter the level, we do like in level. This means our blessing icon UI can know this. And we can do something like it's run manager instance. Oh, it's not. Okay. Let's make it a singleton. So static run manager instance, public static run manager instance, get if instance equals null, instance equals find object of type run manager, turn instance, this might be what do we do? We destroy ourselves if there is something that already exists, or do we destroy the other one? Oh. Maybe something like that to keep track of the singleton stuff. This one should be called state, I think. It should not be called run state. Well, suddenly I didn't care. Spell icon UI doesn't need shop root anymore. So I realized I did a boo-boo there. It shouldn't be and, it should be or. If it isn't the right button or it isn't the shop. Bep, 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 bep. Warning, obsolete, I don't care. Let's see if that works. I need one to start with, so arcane bolt, cooldown speed. Shoot. Now if I right click, nothing happens. If I finish the level, it should be able to sell it to have some variation on these sounds. Cooldown speed. Could sell it. I got money. It works. Yeah, I'll chalk this up as a success. Sell blessings. one more thing to remove from our list. Now, limit the blessing count is important. We need a stat to keep track of max blessings stat. I have a feeling maybe this should have a player on it. But where is this called? Is it called every frame? Shop post. It's called if we can afford it in on enable, so that should be fine. Let me check. Yeah, absolutely correct. Thank you, Tweak. If I have the player, I have the stats, so we can do current blessings count. Player.blessings.amount count var max blessings count. Player stats blessings. Current blessings count is less than max blessings count. So player now has our stats object. Say the max number is 3. And we try to buy 3 of those. We buy cooldown on speed. And we buy like arcane bolt. Sacrifice twice, and then we start re-rolling and hope we can buy bouncy. We can buy bouncy. And then we get pierce. Can we buy that? Yes, but we can't. Okay, so now we gotta survive. So we set it to 3 and not to 2. Don't die! We made it. And there is none. Ah, crap. Reroll? Reroll? How can there be... Oh! They won't come because we can't buy them because it's full. That was bad. Final references. So the shop finds all that it can purchase. Let's. We don't have a level on the shop items. Oops. One of the neighbor's cats kind of invading our backyard, and my cat is really angry. And she's a little bit smaller than the other cat, so I try to be on her side and just scare the other cat away. I want to really hit her with with a little bit of water, but it's been hard. This way, things we can purchase, that is, things at max level, things at max level will spawn. I think that's... I'm not a huge fan of that. So we'll modify this if we just check that. So not use can purchase. Instead we do has level not equals null and or equals null or has level. What's going on here? Yeah. So instead of checking if we can actually purchase, we just check the level here, and then can purchase is done as I'm purchase. Why? What is some key is stuck now? There we go. This one is that it. Should be there, I think. Okay, cool. try it. Wait, I didn't say. We could, for the sake of it. Oh, we want to try one more thing. The player, when I'm enabling, I need to add the blessing here. This is what happens when you like pre-equip things before. You gotta kind of add it for this to work. You can add a blessing, let's say bouncy and crit chance. And those should now come up here. Only one of them did. Collection was modified. The problem is that they are already in there, so it becomes a little bit annoying. Let's refactor. Do that instead. So now maybe it will work. And can buy one more. Sacrifice. Reroll, and then we didn't get anything good. There we get crit chance. Now we shouldn't be able to pick this up, and we are not, but it might be because we don't have enough money. But I still can't pick it up because it's more than 3 here. If I sell something now, like I sell bouncy, which I can't because some unknown issue. So it says there's a null reference here. So I guess blessing.player is not set up. Yeah, might be. Because it's not purchased. It's not adding the player like this. Let's move that to the apply, and then hope we override that and call the base function in all places. Buy movement speed, reroll, and then I can't buy this first because we don't have money, and now we have money. We still can't buy it. So I sell bouncy, no errors, and then crit chance. I could buy that, but why? Because that was Okay, so another thing is we should be able to buy them if it already exists. Okay. So either or player blessings contains this and level is less than max level. It's more complex than you'd think. So first we figure out what the player thing is, like with these actions. I think maybe all the actions need to be attached to a player. We shouldn't be doing this. We'll figure that out. And then we check, we get the blessings. And then we check if we already have either if the current blessings count is less than blessings counts, fine. Then we can do it. Or if it is the max blessings count and the blessings already containing this particular blessing and the current blessings level is less than max level. I feel overwhelmed by that logic. Okay. What time is it? Gotta go in a little bit because I need to eat a little bit before the meeting at 3. Okay. Okay, let's see. So we already have bouncy. We should be able to buy this. Except we should be able to buy this. Apparently we were able to... wait. A reroll costs 2 and now we can't buy peers. So we sheet player dot currency. There we go. Now we buy this, but we can't because things are already in there. So let's sell the invulnerability. So we buy the peers. Now we have peers. Now we need to find one of these. Peers, here we go. We should be able to buy this. Yes, work. And then we want to have peers again. And we should be able to buy peers again. Bouncy could have been a good. You know what? What we should have done. More money. And we should have bought these so that it doesn't give us as many. Not getting any luck in... Here we go. No! Oh, it came again. Good. Bouncy. We buy Bouncy. Now Bouncy is at max. So if we ever see Bouncy again, we shouldn't be able to buy it. No, it shouldn't come up because it's already full. Okay, so we're already checking for that. Peers. We buy that. That comes up again. Be weird. Yep, this should be it. This should be working. So now I can sell bounce, and if I see bounce again, it should be on level -1. Yep. It works. Okay, so now we can buy and sell and are limited in the number of blessings. But we should, of course, change the default to be like, I think 6 is good. Then it's like 6 plus 4 stuff. So it's 10 different stuff you can have at the same time. Nice round number. Put it at 6. And then we can add a blessing that increases the number of blessings. Let's commit this and at some point is there check that we're saved. Yeah. This is limit number of blessings. Oh, Sleepy Paradox. We made some work on it and then we dropped it. Pink River is a game that I actually want to, like, out of all of my prototypes, that's one probably on the top of projects I want to return to. Just got to find a way and find some time. Okay. Let's do one run and then maybe I'll take a break until tomorrow. We need to restart. We need to do at least one sacrifice. We did 2 sacrifices on the first level. And then... messed up. Damn it! Ooh, I buy that. Now I can't be killed. Unless I get this really bad. Wait, why do I have bounce? Forgot to remove that. I'm scared. Cooldown time is really... no! Shit! Some error there with some canvas group thing. Ah, come on! Gotta be smarter about when I shoot, so I get all the enemies. That was close. I missed that by a hair. God damn it. Wait, did I? Oh, I know what's going on with the thing. But what are these? So, sacrifice purchasable. Can purchase. I need to check that player.health invulnerable is not true. You shouldn't be able to purchase this if you're invulnerable. That's why yeah, late to the party. Yes. We're soon done for the day here. I don't want any of these. I want to do rail. I want to sacrifice twice and then I'm so slow. What the heck? Okay, only one until I have some way of not dying in one hit. It is. Okay, so that's good. No, I should have done it. But what I want is interest. Let's keep this. I shot too early. Oof. So my brother is in charge of all the sound effects, but we bought a bunch of sound packs, so he's kind of mixing and matching. We bought them off Asset Store, Unity Asset Store, just like $200 or something worth of different packs. To get sort of a base, kind of. Wait. Come on! The game is so hard. Yeah, you can do that now. It doesn't give you more money anymore, Pine. The reason you could do it before was because you were invulnerable as you take damage for 1 second. So that was why you could do that. I'm tempted to reduce the base enemy movement speed. Just a smidge. So like the flyer got acceleration 8. Let's do 7. And this one also 7. Then I think the other ones are fine. Maybe this one should have 8 and 9. No, wait. This is the wrong... I'm changing the wrong thing. Never mind. Here it is. Chaser enemy. I didn't recognize the number. 85. Let's do like 75. Flyer has 100. Let's do like 90. Eyeball has 50. Let's raise that up to 75, 70. Then tumor moves really slowly. I don't care. Take it easy, Frederick. I gotta go real soon here too, so. I wonder if I could play only with Blizzard. If I was really clever about it. Nope. That's not gonna work. Build up econ. I could see it happen a million miles away. Damn it! I'm never gonna finish the game if this is the way I do it. Get heal on crit. Hey, why is the rail not working? Okay. Oh, it's not finding... I gotta go through them. All the stack stat blessings are fine. No, I'm just playing now, but find this issue. Or don't call the base thing, but yeah, it'll be fine. try this. So we do like sacrifice, sacrifice. Max HP should give us more HP. So now I got 60 out of 150. So I don't think this one is actually correct. It hasn't updated the values properly because it doesn't show. Okay, I know what's going on there. Now I think I can sacrifice once more here and get even more money. Yeah, it actually looked like I got more money there, but that's not what happened. So let's see. Since I have some money now, I'm thinking bouncy is really good for me. Okay, now I can get the game is like, it's not that hard unless you try to go for a really high score. I want to do 2 sacrifices at least at the first level. So I start generating passive income. Second level too. I think I wanna. Second level is really small. Yeah, it's just very risky to play like this. You can try one of these builds. Not much better. Yeah, I gotta, if I want to, I gotta do one sacrifice. That's what we're gonna get. I like how risky it is to do that. Because that kind of... do one free reroll, hope for Blizzard, Nova. There's the cheats you can do with the Nova right now, by the way. I get that, and then I sacrifice again, and then I play. Wow. So many spawns. Now I'm dead again. I think like even yeah, we need to nerf the first levels. It's too hard. So we can modify this. So there's a max base wave budget. 4 can be the max. This still scales pretty well, but makes the earlier levels a lot easier. Yeah, this is super useful to kind of like you can scrub this to get different variations that can happen. Right. Super small level too. That's a really fast first level, but that's fine. Let's see if we dare double. No. too early. Gotta do those and would love heal on crit. Would also love Blizzard. Need to do something about range, I think. Max HP, probably a good idea. Crit chance is also a good idea, so let's sacrifice. Do we dare sacrifice twice now? And then max HP, and then crit chance? Because we have heal on crit, I think? No, we don't have heal on crit. We have extra max HP. That was bad. I read the icon wrong. I think the levels are maybe a little bit too small, or at least the ones I got so far felt small. I'm at pretty decent health. I'm not super scared. This is wrong. The bar is wrong. Okay, let's see. Let's reroll. One more reroll. No. Corpse explosion. Probably not. Hello, Bruce. What's up? It's not a finished product. It's very much in progress. I would love to have something that can do some slowing down of enemies, because now I'm pretty much toast. Level 5. Damn it. What time is it? 13:50. We can do one more. Let's do crit chance and do 2 sacrifice. We should be able to do level 1. Look how nicely the enemies go around the center post here. Heal on crit. Yes. Crit chance. Like, I gotta go get it, I think. So let's do 2 sacrifices. Pick up max HP and crit chance. I think so. I think so, but I might be... might be handicapping myself a little bit for future economy. And then I get Blizzard. And then I get another max HP. And another crit chance. Shit. We need... before we get this, we want wait, we have a heal on crit. That one costs 4 now. So now we can get 4 extra, but we still can't buy both those. No, we can potentially... No, we buy just this, I think. And then we hope that we survive this level and get some interest on our money. One sacrifice at least, and then haste? No. There's nothing here I want. These move faster now. They're more annoying. Die. That was inevitable. I would like Blizzard some other way. Like, we gotta figure out other ways to slow down enemies, like walls or something. Maybe we need to update the enemy AI so they can kind of attack things like walls, or yeah, do some things like that. Yay. That was close, but we got there. Crit damage pierce, not a bad pickup for one. We do one reroll and then we sacrifice if there's something we want here. Now we're also like fear. Huh. Yeah. Something that attracts them, like what is it called in WoW? The Stoneclaw totem or something? That taunts the enemies. I don't see us buying any of these. I see us paying a lot of HP. We're pretty high on survivability, but very low on damage and crowd control right now. Hey, where did you come from? They hid in the... Luckily this level is not that small. Hey, what? I have Blizzard. Why didn't what the heck? Even improve. I think we should have both Blizzard and Frost Nova. This one is actually pretty good for one, but now we're full on upgrades. We gotta sell something or upgrade what we have. See if that incurs any interesting, like... Do we have reduced cooldown? At this point, the game is much easier than at the very beginning, which is something we gotta think about. I say, and then I almost get killed on this wave. But we made it, so fine. Heal on crit is a given. One sacrifice. Hope for... I don't know what else I want here. Can't move by that unless I sell something. Ow! Right in my face. Is it Blizzard 2 a little bit too strong? It feels like it kills enemies like crazy. It's not. I guess it's not super easy. But I'm also playing terribly, so. Heal on crit level 3, I get 10 for every crit. This is like... Yeah, I think we do that. Bouncy, yes. Give me bouncy. I cannot buy bouncy. Crit damage. I think we get... We lose crit damage and we buy bouncy instead. Yes. Well, the rate of Blizzard you can cast. Cooldown for Blizzard is like that thing where it waits. That's affected by cooldown. Now I can kind of actually do enough damage with these to almost play with just Blizzard. If I stack them up. Just experimenting a little bit here. As I have the health to spare. And just panically, I don't know. Panic clicking here. Okay, we're starting to lose some health, so maybe play a bit less weird. A good cheese right now is to use Nova on cooldown and have high bounce and pierce. And that will just give you infinite amounts of damage and health. I didn't keep track. Damn it. Anyways, I think I'm gonna raid someone now and take a break before my meeting, and then we'll see what happens. Tim, maybe? There's someone who has one viewer. This is someone who needs more viewers. Looks like a Swede too from the name, so let's try that. So yeah, it's ah shit. Keys keep. Wait, is this not working? They're not there? Let's do that then. Try this. Yeah. Oh, there. There. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, most likely to stream. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Be nice to Prismatic, and then hugs and kisses.